Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be carrying on with I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. We went to the swamps for the first time in the last episode and had a very tense Vertumnalia festival where it's quite clear strong divisions are growing in the camp between the... Well, we're not going to split them between ships because there's Helios we like Rex and Nomi. But between, I guess, the Lum loyalists and the people who are more in tune with the nature of this world that we're on. We're definitely aligning ourselves with the latter camp. I think it's safe to say. Let's give Nomi another gift. You can have crystals. You like crystals? +4. Oh, it's her birthday. That's lucky. This is 2nd of Dust. Ooh, Nomi exclaims, making grabby hands at the pretty crystal. Happy birthday to me. I can't believe you remembered. Going a bit Northern Irish. She's supposed to be Southern Irish. Republic Irish. Nomi is in their usual spot in the lounge, surrounded by their steadily growing collection of body pillows and stuffed animals. They're curled up with their arms around a giant plushy creature and seem to be scrolling listlessly through the movies available in the Colony Media Archive. Find anything good? No. Nomi sighs, tipping over onto their side. Not since I finished all of Maid Stalker Ares. I can't believe it ended on a cliffhanger. I didn't know that the stratosphere had left Earth before the series had finished airing. Nomi whines. You have every episode except for the two-part season finale. They bury their face against the plushie. Now I'll never know how it ends. They sniffle. It's not fair that we'll never have any new shows to watch. Maybe we can make up a new ending. Nomi wipes their eyes and looks up at you hopefully. Really? They ask. You'd do that with me? Tell me all about Maid Stalker Ares. Nomi launches into a full summary of Maid Stalker Ares, including everything down to the blood types and astrological signs of the characters. It's a lot to handle, but the two of you come up with a pretty good fan script for the missing episode. And then Ares and Sagittarius embrace, and just as the light from the interstellar portal engulfs them, and the camera pans back to a ghostly image of Gemini's face, smiling down at them from the spirit realm. Nomi claps their hands excitedly. It's perfect, they exclaim. So much better than just leaving it right before the climactic battle with the Agents of the Stars. They smooth down the fur on their plushie with a thoughtful look. Thanks, Solana, they say. I was feeling so bummed about the cliffhanger because it just reminded me that even though everything ends, sometimes it's a lot earlier than you can handle. When I got here, I remember looking at your huge media library and thinking, wow, Galactic, I'm never going to run out of things to watch. It felt like the whole world was still ahead of me, ready to be discovered. Nomi digs their fingers into their plushie. Now it feels like everything's just on fire all the time, and everyone is always on my case about how I need to grow up. What's so bad about being innocent? Why does everything have to be so grim all the time? There will be more good experiences. Nomi nods, their chin wobbling as they try to keep it together. Yeah, they say, tipping their head up to the ceiling and trying to put on a brave smile. That's a good way of looking at it, Solana. Oh, Nomi, hopefully we can make decent friends with you before the end of the game. Because we're halfway through our 18th year. Next year we'll be 19, and then I think, it'll end when we're 20. So I think we'll probably get to play our 20th year. But honestly, in terms of the colony and its health and how it's going, it feels like it's kind of building towards a finale, doesn't it? With everyone turning, well, half the colony turning against Lum, and the other half being very staunch defenders of his. Have we got no more red eggs to give to an enemy? We might do. Okay, we do. What does she say? Hold on, Solana, she says. I gotta finish this message to Vaith. He gets so moody if I don't hollow him back right away. Got something for you. Have our Xeno egg. Aw, you're a hero, an enemy says, taking the egg. And I'm starving. I'm gonna get the kitchen to cook this up right away. It's a shame we weren't able to get... Well, I mean, how close did we get to an enemy? Pretty good. 44, almost half. I'm actually surprised we're closer to Tang than Cal, but I suppose we've done a lot of stuff in the sort of engineering department and stuff that kind of had an effect on that. Lulu? Oh dear. There's two people we've not met yet, which is interesting. Is Sim on there? He is. He likes strange devices. Dislikes nothing. Okay. We didn't see... Well, we actually we did see Sim in the swamps, didn't we? Alright, what do I want to do? Maybe we'll do another kitchen session, sort of get our creativity and empathy up a little bit. That seems like a good thing to do. Is that here? No. Is it in the Lilo one? Yeah, okay, we're going to do another round of this then. Aunt Anne comes bursting into the kitchens carrying a large crate. Special delivery, Solana. She sets the crate down on the prep table and sticks her hand inside. It's time to do my very favourite thing in the kitchen, figuring out new ways to cook fresh food. You grew up eating soy rations, tasteless but nutritious. The hydroponics aboard the spaceship never made enough to feed everyone, so fresh food was a luxury. Anne's always excited to try her hand at real cooking. With a flourish, she pulls from the box an alien plant you've never seen before. It's pale blue-green, oblong, and about the size of her forearm. It hits the cutting board with a disturbingly meat-like slap, and immediately starts oozing slime onto the surface. Your father finally cleared this friendly little fruit for human consumption, Anne says. It doesn't even have a name yet. You could come up with something fitting while you figured out how to use it. You look dubiously at the weird fruit. As you watch it, it glorps out a fresh wave of slime. Is it a boba fruit? Aunt Anne catches your disgusted expression and laughs. The business of eating can really turn your stomach sometimes. Imagine, back on Earth, everyone used to eat meat from living things. This is a blessing, Solana. Who knows what we can do with this little plant? Iron stomach. Or are those edible? 3 diamond or a 4? I'll take a 4 red. You bisect the weird fruit. The goop seems to come from ducts under its thick skin, not the creamy yellow flesh inside. You pop a piece in your mouth. It's kind of sweet, like aloe. Crunchy and gooey at the same time. Get to work. 34. Should be relatively easy. Cards with gems are wild. I don't have any gems here. Well, it probably makes sense to do that. Alright, how about this? Not too bad. I want to go to the animal pens as well, because we captured that Unisaur, didn't we? So maybe we'll be able to do something with that in the pens. Oh, Rex wants to talk. You spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into a huge tarped-up section at the end of the lounge. He waves at you, well, as much as a wave as he can do with his arms full of mushwood. Here, Solana, he calls out to you. Have you come to see the bar? You give him a questioning look. The bar? You don't know Rex super well. You've never heard anything about a bar. He gestures to the tarps. My bar, he says. I've been working on a special project ever since I joined the construction crew. The colony needed a place to cut loose, you dig? He looks up at it, beaming with pride. I think it's about halfway done. You take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept it all pretty well tarped up, and he hates letting people inside to peek. But you can tell it's big. Perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project. But Rex has had a lot of help from his crew, and from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. I'm sure it'll be great. Rex comes over to you and slings you a one-armed hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized, he says. I can almost hear the music now. That's right, the bar's going to have live music. You know anyone else who plays an instrument? I'm going to work double time to finish this place. If you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. All right, we'll give you some mushwood now. Whew, Rex exclaims, mopping his brow. When they talk about dogs going in a heat, this isn't what they meant. You got any water, Solana? I'm sweating in spots I didn't know I had. Have a mushwood. We're getting a bit low on mushwood. Oh, we lost a collectible. Yeah, he likes it. We'll hug him as well. It's like a free... Seems to be like a free 2 plus relationship to have a little hug with Rex. There we go. Yeah, animal pens. Here we go. You should probably do something about the Unisaur you captured. It's eating its way through everything. It doesn't actually produce any food, and the other ranchers are starting to get annoyed by its attitude. Like it knows something they don't. It's creepy. You figure you may as well try to get used to it taking a rider. If people could ride Unisaurs around, that would be pretty useful, especially when the robots and vehicles start breaking down. You bring it outside. It stares at you with its eerily intelligent eyes as you approach with the saddle, and only shimmies a little as you strap it to its back. You brace yourself and hop on. The Unisaur takes off at a run, ducking and weaving as it tries to throw you off. You get down low in the saddle and wrap your arms around its neck. The Unisaur is an unusually intelligent animal. You can sense it trying to figure out how to throw you, or just make it too uncomfortable for you to hang on. It slams its body against the walls of the pen, trying to snap your legs. When that doesn't work, it tries rearing up on its hind legs, or reaching back to scratch you with its hand-like paws. It tosses its head to try and gouge you with its horn. It's uncomfortable, but you're no stranger to discomfort, and you're not going to let this Unisaur dominate you. You hang on until the Unisaur stops fighting, its great sides heaving under your legs. You pat its scaly neck, and it tosses its head like it's sighing. You get the sense that you haven't really broken it, more that you've just convinced it that you'll be less of a hassle if it just plays along. +3 for rainbow flashes of 3. Oh, it's a gear card. +3 for rainbow flashes of 3. Okay, I might even equip that. Success! You can convince her to let you ride her now. Oh yeah, now that you can get her to stand still long enough to check, you determine this Unisaur is female. What do you name your magnificent beast? I don't like any of those. Can we do something else? I don't know. How about Boringana? Okay, Boringana it is. Get to work. Ah, pretty cool. Another... No, is it a pet, or is... It might be a pet following us around. We'll have to see, I suppose. It's not a great hand. We only need to hit 32, though. But again, if we use... say that... it's only 18. 0123. Because we're not actually succeeding with the flush, maybe that's better. Still doesn't get us there. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it does work. It's just it's low value, isn't it? First collectible use is free. That's maybe something to consider. Let's put a mushwood log on this. Okay. Well, how about this then? 29. Does that do it? Just about. Yes, I mean that was as much as we could do. All right. He is, and we got a little. Awesome. We got a little Unisaur following us around. What's this? Pay to remove cards in the quarters spa. I wonder how much. So I have got a couple of cards. That the +10 stress card, it might be nice to lose because I have no intention of using that. Quarters. Quarters are up here, aren't they? Let's go into gear as well before we forget, because I'd like to. So take that out, and we're going to add the Unisaur in. Have a pet equipped. Awesome. Visit the spa. 50. So, oh god, this is how many cards we've got. We haven't got as many rainbow cards as I thought. I thought we had more. Yeah, there's +10 stress. I feel like I might lose that. Oh, mind you, this one. When are we ever going to want a blue 0, you know? I might forget that. start getting rid of some of these other less useful cards. But it's costly, so you know we're not going to be able to do that much of it. Oh, I'm really pleased we've got a big pet now. Question is what to do with it. We've basically got... I want to probably relax there. Question is, what do I want to get up? Maybe we can max it. Yeah, I mean, we can't really because it's more like 78, isn't it? Maybe we'll do the kitchen stuff again a couple of times and then rest. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Right, let's go up and work in the kitchens then for a couple of months, then rest, and then we're going to go out again during Glow. Working in the kitchens involves a lot more cleaning than advertised. You thought you'd be the one creating amazing original dishes, but often you're just cleaning the food dispenser or scrubbing down the cooking surfaces. Vatumna doesn't have the same foodborne illnesses as Earth does, but who knows what's waiting to make you sick? Better just to make sure everything is clean. Okay. It's only 33. I don't think we need to sweat too much to this. But we can make that a 6. And we can make it blue. Actually, we can't. How about that? Not too bad. Okay. We're going to do that again. Aunt Anne is waiting for you in the kitchen when you arrive. There's a strange new smell in the air. Are you here? Anne says. I wanted to tell you something before you get started today. She gestures you over to the stove, where an enormous yellow pot of stew is boiling cheerfully. As you know, the colony was founded on vegetarian principles, she says. Raising animals for their meat on Earth was, well, it wasn't very nice, and it took up a lot of Earth's resources, soil and water and feed that we couldn't bring with us on a spaceship. You nod. Though there are animals on the ranch that produce milk or syrup or high-protein berries, you've never actually cooked meat. Well, Anne continues, humans have been eating animals for a lot longer than we've been farming them. We used to hunt animals for food, and their furs. Sometimes the ranchers have to slaughter an animal, and, well, some of the forages... She smiles and wafts the steam from the pot towards her nose, inhaling deeply. Well, sometimes they bring back an animal that they found out there, and it's time we start serving them in the canteen. Anne holds up her hands, warding off your concerns. I know you might find this idea uncomfortable. I want you to remember that this is no different than what would happen to them in the wild. Most animals are eaten by other animals. Meat is healthy and good for us, she adds, and we need to take advantage of every possible food source. That means, of course, we're not going to waste any part of the animal. Even the bones can be boiled to make stock. Anne sets her hand on your shoulder. Ask Congruence for a tutorial on butchering and preparing an animal and follow her instructions. It needs to be cooked to a certain temperature to make sure it's safe to eat. I've already started this stew to save you some time, she says. While it's simmering, you can start on learning what you'll need to know for tomorrow. With that, she kisses you on the forehead and bustles out of the room. Like always, Anne has left you to manage things in the kitchen without her help. What are you going to do with this power? Oh dear, that's not very good. We're going to negotiate for a vegetarian option. You hollow Aunt Anne in the creche. You tell her you're not serving the stew unless there's a vegetarian option. It's not right to force other people in the colony to eat meat if they're uncomfortable with the idea. She smiles broadly. Of course, Sunshine. That's a wonderful idea. Why don't you get started on that other stew right now, and make sure both pots are well labelled so everyone can make their own choice. You made a lot more work for yourself, but you're sure it was the right thing to do. So this can become 8. I don't have a 4. last one. That could be, so that could be a 5. And that could be a 5. It's not great, is it? Oh, that's what a rainbow flush is. Have we almost done it then? How about that? It's not brilliant, but in fact, if we do that and that and that, we can go a little bit higher. Okay, so it's time to rest. I know we've got 45 stress, but I want to have 0 stress for when we head out to glow. So I think if we chill in here, we'll actually raise our friendship with Nomi a little bit. I think that's probably good. Oh, with Rex. Okay, how do I... Oh, it's a boba fruit. I think we'll just do... before I rest, actually, let's do a quick round the colony and just see if there's anyone with a burning need to talk to me. Ooh, Dis would like a chat. This evening, when Dis isn't in his quarters or his usual spot near the expedition vehicles, you have a sixth sense of where to find him. His old, secret hideout in the big drainage pipe under the wall, where he still goes sometimes when he needs to escape and be alone. Sure enough, there he is at the entrance to the pipe, but something's wrong. He's fiddling with a package furtively. His head jerks up as you approach and he clutches it to his chest. You can barely believe your eyes, but you know a bomb when you see one. What are you doing? Dis stares at you for a few moments, weighing the truth. I'm leaving, he says eventually. Noctilucent made me a deal. Sabotage the colony during the next attack, and they'll let me become a gardener. Don't get in my way, Solana, Dis says. I don't want to have to hurt you. Okay, big thing we've got to do here. We could just appeal to his friendship, which, you know, we've got 90 or greater, so that feels like a good thing to do. Hard empathy challenge. We're gonna. I mean, we've built this friendship with him for a reason, haven't we? So let's use that. Dis looks stunned, but shakes his head. It's not about you, Solana, he says. I'm gonna do this. Except for you, there's nothing for me here. You're the only thing that makes me feel, well... He looks down at the package in his hand and sighs. Human. No one has to know. Just give me the bomb. Dis clutches the explosives to his chest tightly and lets out one shuddering sigh. Okay, he says finally. Okay, I just... He shakes his head and hands it over to you. Take it, he says, before I change my mind. You dispose of the deadly package and thank all the gods from all the religions you can name that you were here tonight to stop this. Eek, that was lucky. Alright, maybe we'll chill with Cal in the garden. Oh, no. Maybe we'll go on the walls then. I mean, if we're going to relax, I'd like to get at least some kind of additional bonus for it. It's a little miserable on the wall during the wet season, but you manage to find a place where an overhanging building creates a bit of shelter. You make a pretty nice hideaway in there, but because people aren't generally hanging out on the wall, you have even more privacy than usual. I kind of want to keep both those. Alright, it's glow. Quick trip round, see if anyone's got anything to say, and then we're going to head out on the expedition. Oh, we can take a crystal. We're going to sneak out to explore glow. There may be nothing new here, but I feel we have to at least try and see. Sims... Alright, let's do that. You come to a dense part of the path where the gnarlwood surrounds you and blocks out the sky and the wormhole above. We've done this one. This is where it gets all sticky, isn't it? Cut our way through... Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, I think we've probably done a lot of these then, and so we'll keep an eye out for anything that's different. Like yellow story events. We're going to talk to Sim, obviously. Shadows upon shadows move against each other in glow, wavering under the gloaming of the mush trees like ghosts. The forest is as still as a creature breathing its last breath. You know to look for Sim in the hollows of the trees now. His eyes gleam in the permanent night. Hello again, Sugarbug, he chuckles. You're getting pretty good at navigating in the dark. Sim sets off through the darkened forest with ease, bidding you to follow. Have you come to ask me more questions? Is Noctilucent the one attacking us? Sim smiles and looks off into the distance. Ah, so you've met. My condolences. Their views are difficult to hold within myself, though I understand them implicitly. Noctilucent is responsible for invasive species management. Sim adds, so yes, repelling you falls under their domain. The most obvious method, as you've noticed, is the yearly attacks, though there are other, more subtle methods to discourage growth. Plague and famine, for example. It doesn't need to be this way. He sighs. Sim stops walking and smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. Looks like we can speak to him again. That's all the same. So we're going to ask about what's with that faceless I saw. Ah, Sim says with a gentle smile. Constellation. You've seen her. That's very lucky, you know. Don't ask me how she does it, but she manages to sneak around these woods like a ghost. The faceless weren't exactly designed with subtlety in mind. He lets out an amused puff of laughter. But she's something else now. Don't worry, he continues. You'll only see her around in glow. She doesn't like the sunlight. And unless you breathe in her spores, she's harmless. You fix him with an incredulous look and he shrugs. It was quite the upset when she broke away from the hole and went to seed, he replies. But, as you humans say, life finds a way. That's enough for now. Trees of ears, you know. Okay. That's all he's got to say this time. Oh, there's another exclamation mark there. I'm gonna head down into this area first, though, just in case that brings this glow to an end. It might be another meeting with the Faceless. It's in the same place. I just want to grab a couple of consumables. That's all there is to do. Alright, let's do this. So it's the same thing it was last year, but we'll read it again. You climb up to a plateau ringed with gnarlwood trees. The view is fantastic. You can see the entire valley on this side of the colony from here. You have a curious sense of remembering this place. Not from your dreams, but no, from a vision you had deep under a strange pyramid. Something important will happen here, but not yet. Let's take some photos this time. I think we did the samples before. It's just so beautiful out here. Too bad you can't share these without raising suspicions. Nobody's allowed to go outside the colony during glow. Nobody. If you were hurt and Utopia or the others had to come rescue you and got hurt themselves, well, there are good reasons not to make anyone worry. You'll just have to treasure the memory of this beautiful place. We're going to keep exploring. And we'll just do some of these question mark events. Some of them might be different. They're not necessarily all the same as we did before. The area is dotted with huge circles of glowing mushrooms, each one nearly a metre in diameter. The bare grass in the centre of the circles looks remarkably lush. Take a closer look. You crouch down to analyse the mushrooms. It's a species you don't recognise, but your holopalm reports that they live most of the year underground and only pop up during glow season. This close, you notice that the entire area inside the circle is sunken, and the grass has been flattened. Almost like a footprint, but what would be big enough to make this? You decide not to wait around to find out. It's probably Constellation. Or Connie. Let's call her Connie. Connie the big disappearing faceless. You're amazed at how peaceful it is out here. It's not what you expected. You stay out of sight of the watchtowers and slip between the mush trees. It's eerily silent, as if the forest is holding its breath in anticipation. It really is pretty out here, with all the plants and animals glowing, especially the wormhole filling the sky above you. Neighbours become wild. Value is wild. Timey-wimey wormhole stuff. Kind of weird. -1 stress for admiring the flora, I mean. Yeah, let's do that. The mush trees make their own light, a chemical reaction almost as bright as your holopalm. All sorts of small flying insects are drawn to them, facilitating pollination. Other plants spread glowing seeds which float up and dance above you as if they're alive. Maybe they are. The gnarlwood trees have these glowing bumps on them. Are those insects inside? You see something pulsing in there, like a goopy caterpillar becoming a butterfly. How strange. Though you can't see it, you've been told the wormhole high above is shining with ultraviolet light. It's invisible to the human eye, but absorbed and re-emitted as visible light by the flora and fauna around you. Your holopalm calls it a black light, and says that people on Earth used to use similar, much more concentrated light as decoration. Even your clothing glows faintly. Probably our teeth. Almost back at the beginning. I guess so. I think we did everything in that case. Go home then. What are values like at the moment? Yeah, they're pretty well. I'd like to keep that clear just in case I want to take like a screenshot or something of the background. You're heading to bed when the sirens begin to wail, heralding the beginning of the yearly xenofauna attack. Outside your window you see soldiers begin to form up. This year an enemy is heading up her own squad. You see her red hair bobbing along with the others as she rushes to defend the walls. Well, we're going to go after her. An enemy looks at you in surprise, but nods when she sees you're ready to fight. Someone hands you a plas rifle and you join her squad on the walls. You stand shoulder to shoulder with an enemy and watch the Xenos mass on the far side of the firebreak. "Look at them all," she says darkly. "They just keep coming, more and more, every year. What are they even waiting for? Why don't they just attack already?" She shoots a look at the rest of her squad, all of them Helios, mostly young adults like you, and lowers her voice. "I just want to get it over with, you know," she confides in you. "These Helios learned to march before they could walk. I want to prove I can handle myself as well as they can." She runs her finger down the barrel of the plas rifle where she stenciled the name Kombucha, and that was her brother. A lowing from the forest draws your attention back to the enemy line. The wall of animals is approaching in eerie unison, their footsteps drumming a rumbling tattoo across the ground. An enemy clutches her rifle tightly. "Okay, here goes." The animals approach the wall at a steady pace, but stop short of the walls. Instead, they mill around outside the colony near the garrison. In the eerie silence you hear the sudden crackle of plas rifle fire, and a flying creature falls to the ground. You hear Security Chief Rhett from his post on the walls telling his squad to hold their fire. His voice rings through the still, expectant air. The Xenos are just standing there. It's so quiet. The animals appear to be waiting for something. The uncomfortable impasse stretches into minutes, until finally an enemy tilts her head like she's hearing orders through her hearspeak. "Okay, we're just going to attack them," she says, her voice lilting up almost as if it's a question. Her Helio-born squadmates look at her with unsure expressions, but an enemy nods. "Yeah, to the walls! Open fire!" Okay, what do we got here? +1 to strength challenges, so that would be good. +2 for every other strength card, that would be good. +1 for gems on cards. +6 if that's the highest value, which it won't be. I mean, I'm kind of thinking... I mean, we could, if we save that for the last round, maybe we'll get a lot more of these cards. So maybe it makes sense to get rid of the weaker cards here. So we'll do 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll save those red cards. So what am I actually going to use? We could draw a card with a medicinal root. Oh, I've got another one of those. But I kind of want to use the stuff that's not red in this round. So I guess we'll use this. This. And we can't use all those cards the next round, but we can use a lot of them. Maybe get rid of the 0. And the 3. It's not much. If we make that a pair. Right, this is where we want to go big or go home, I think. We've got a lot to do. So let's put that there. Let's put that there. We're not far off. What can we do here? I mean, we could make 6/6. But we'd lose 2 anyway for that. So we'd kind of just be replacing what we're losing. But we can do that. 5, 6, 7. If we make that an 8. Oh, I haven't got an egg. What is that losing to from neighbouring card? Oh, because it's a wild... Yeah, okay, that didn't work then, did it, bringing that one in? We were closer without it. That's better. 5, 6, 7. I mean, we can have an 8, but it's going to be this one. It's going to add stress. I guess in this circumstance, maybe that's okay. No, it's worse. What did the bobber fruit do again? Yeah. So we can make that, if we make that a 7, and we can stick that there and get 3 of a kind, does that help anything? A little bit. If we put that there, we can quite easily make that another 7. And we've got 4 of a kind. How's that? Okay, good. We need more of those mushwoods because they're really useful. You and the others open fire, joined by other squads at other points on the walls. The creatures continue to mill around as they're cut down by a hail of crackling plas rifle fire, seemingly unbothered. It's not until a few minutes pass that the creatures seem to wake up, in a sense, breaking from their holding pattern and beginning to batter the walls as usual. Flying creatures begin to soar overhead, landing in the courtyard and attacking from within. You stay on the walls and pick off what you can, trying to keep the creatures from forming a living pyramid to scale the walls. You can hear the battering of their bodies against the gates from here, and the commotion as the gate defenders rally to keep it shut. Governor Lum comes charging up to an enemy. "I need the command of your squad," he says. "I'm taking them down to the courtyard to engage the enemy directly." "My squad?" an enemy stammers. She looks conflicted. Lum is the governor and outranks her as a soldier, but he's Lum. His plan is bound to be dangerous or even suicidal. The rest of the squad are Helioborn, yes, but they're also just teenagers like you. Don't you need us up here supporting the defenders from the wall?" she chances to suggest. Let's ask the security chief. An enemy looks relieved.
Yeah, let me just check with Red, okay? He might need us. Let me just check.
Lum nods her forward, and an enemy steps away to confer with Rhett over her hearspeak. When she returns, she looks unsure.
He says, you can't just order a bunch of kids into the worst part of the fighting just because you think it'll look cool,
she repeats.
He wants us to stay on the walls.
Lum throws his hands in the air in disgust. You Stratos are even more cowardly than I thought. This spurs your Helio squad mates into action. They abandon an enemy and follow the governor down into the courtyard below. You and an enemy remain on the wall, picking them out, defending them against being breached by Xenos and picking off the flying ones before they can land in the courtyard. The gates stay standing, and after about an hour the attack ends as quietly as it began, with the remaining Xenos slinking back into the forest from whence they came. In the quiet following the battle, the colony comes out of hiding to gather in the courtyard, surveying the damage. Everyone looks weary, but you survived another year, and with remarkably few casualties. As the gates are secured and people begin to pick through the mass of Xeno bodies, you spot Dis watching from up on the walls. As he meets your eyes from a distance, you wonder how tonight's battle might have gone if you hadn't stopped him from planting that bomb. Good point. Very good point. Okay, starting age 19. Good friends with Nomi Nomi and Rex. Almost maxed out with Dis. I lost combat, but that's largely because I took out a gear slot to get the Unisaur in. Quick trip round. I might give Dis a gift just because I feel like we're running out of time to sort of max out his relationship level. Actually, what he was saying was different. It doesn't matter what I do, Dis says, staring at the destruction, still littering the colony from the last attack. Every year it's the same thing. Sometimes I wish I really did blow up that wall, then at least we wouldn't be in this stalemate. But how about a strange device? Dis's eyes light up when he sees your gift. Whoa, he says, taking them from you with uncharacteristic delight. Is this... Oh, yeah, he says that every time, doesn't he? So I think we're 96 with him now. So we'll just remember to gift him a couple more times, and that should be 100 out of 100, which would be quite cool. I'm not sure what happens then, but it'll be good to find out. +1 to all physical skill increases for 3 months. Well, maybe that's something we should do then. It'd be nice to maybe get toughness up a bit higher. Maybe animals too. In fairness, maybe we'll go and work in geoponics. I think if we work with the animals, we might be able to do toughness and them. I think. So we turn to the animals. Animals and empathy. Well, empathy's good to level up. And then maybe we'll also do the toughness. Oh, biology and toughness. I think we've maxed out biology though, no? Yeah. Alright, let's tend to the animals first. People don't really like to talk about it, but some of the animals on the ranch, they're good eating. You don't raise anything for slaughter alone, but it's inevitable that some animals are just too old to produce food, or too sick, or too ill-tempered to keep around the other animals. One such bristle slug's time has come. He's older than the rest and has stopped producing berries. Not that the males produce as many as the females in the first place. He shakes his feeble crown of berries at you, lowing gently as you and Cal prepare to take it to the slaughterhouse. I'm never going to get used to this part, Cal says, watching as you loop a lead around its neck. I mean, I don't even like the idea of eating their berries, you know? Berries, milk, honey. It just feels kind of gross. But meat, Cal continues, scrunching up his nose, meat is definitely wrong. You're lucky the colony doesn't need the food. You wonder if Cal would change his mind if he was starving. I mean, I think we're clearly leaning more towards a vegetarian character, so meat is murder. You and Cal guide the bristle slug to the slaughterhouse, passing an enemy on patrol.
Ooh, she says, shouldering her plas rifle. Meat's on the menu tonight. Here, sluggy, sluggy, sluggy.
Cal frowns and pats the bristle slug. Gross, Nemi. Don't be rude. It's a living thing like you and me. Look at its cute face.
It doesn't know what I'm saying.
An enemy laughs, then puts a hand on her knees to get eye level with the bristle slug.
Who's the tasty, tasty hunk of steak? It's you! It's you!
Cal steps between an enemy and the bristle slug, and she stands up again.
No, come on, Cal. We have to eat. What's one little bristle slug gonna hurt the planet?
We're not going to be a small colony forever, Cal retorts. Why not think about conservation now?
Why start ever?
An enemy shoots back.
We're omnivores. Look at our teeth.
She opens her mouth wide and shows off her teeth.
Our oddies eat.
We've been doing just fine on a vegetarian diet, Cal says. He shoves the bristle slug's reins in your hand and takes a few steps towards an enemy. Plus, we're smarter than our bodies. We have soy and beans. We have farms. We can grow our own protein. Just because we had to eat meat to survive.
So do you think it's okay to eat meat to survive?
An enemy crows, which sets off a shouting match.
Oh, sorry. So you do think it's okay to eat meat to survive?
You stand there with the bristle slug's reins in your hands, both of you completely ignored while Cal and an enemy yell it out. It turns its big head towards you and blinks, waiting placidly for your instruction. Why would we do that? Let's sneak away and release him. While an enemy and Cal are arguing, you take the bristle slug out through the front gates and release it at the edge of the tree line. It quickly scoots into the underbrush, its spiky pelt blending in with its surroundings. You hope it'll be able to return to the wild after living in captivity, but it's better than ending up on someone's plate. Absolutely. Alright. +1 to physical red cards, +5 bonus to physical red pairs. Okay. Well. So that's going to go up to 7, is it? Yes, that is going to be a 7. Alright. Oh, right, that's now a 10. Fine. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do a 5. That could be a 5 as well. How's that? Not too bad. We may have maxed out animals now. Not sure. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have been more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. How did that hop-eye get into your bedroom? I'm going to follow it. You chase it out your balcony door and find yourself on a thickly wooded path, the mushroom wood pressing in on close on every side. The light is weird here, pink and glittering, casting teal shadows. The hop-eye disappears down a hole in the ground, and without thinking you dive after it, squeezing your shoulders to fit through. You tumble into a cave, beautiful and surreal, shimmering with a light that seems to come from within. When you take a step forward, granules of pink sand crunch underfoot. The cave opens out to a forest that seems lifted from a fairy tale. The sunlight beams through breaks in the trees, illuminating a path of mushroom-ringed stepping stones that lead you to a small cottage. You spot the hop-eye hurrying further down the path. Let's go to the cottage. You don't meet anyone in the cottage, but it isn't empty. There is something alive in the old green crate at the back of the cottage. It's banging furiously, jiggling the latch, demanding to be let out. You lift the lid and find yourself falling into the empty box. You land hard on solid ground, your breath whooshing from you. It's hot here, impossibly hot. The twin suns beat down on you, burning your skin on contact, and the air is almost painful to breathe. In all directions stretches a barren wasteland of dead trees, like bones puncturing the dry skin of the planet. You rise from the dusty, cracked earth and begin to walk, stumbling over the bones of unknown creatures. You don't know where you're walking, only that the horizon doesn't change. The red sky just stretches overhead like a great bowl of heat pressing down on you. A great roar shakes you, and you turn to see a chimeric nightmare, a manticore, but with Governor Lum's face? He towers over you from a podium, his claws clacking and his tail thrashing as he proselytizes. "We, primeval forests felling," he chants. "We, the rivers stemming, piercing deep the mines within. We, the surface broad surveying. We, the virgin soil upheaving." Overhead the sky is streaked with smoke. You hear a rumbling in the distance. Stand to face it. You plant your legs and refuse to look away from the beast. With a yell from behind you, Mars appears and swings a sword made of light at the Lum abomination. Its head rolls across the dirt, but it continues to speak. You turn from the scene and walk away, feeling the memory of it cling to you as you push and claw your way through to another reality. You stumble forwards into a dark, glowing forest. Blessedly cool air brushes your cheeks, thick with moisture, and making your face wet as if you'd been crying. The path wends upwards, flanked by humanoid figures carrying candles. Some are wearing robes, some armour, some lab coats and envirosuits and formal wear. Some are elderly, and some barely 10 years old. All turn to look at you, and you realise with a jolt, they're you. Every single one of them is you. You see yourself reflected in their eyes as they gaze upon you dispassionately, a line of possibilities stretching out as far as you can see. The Hop-Eye crouches between the ranks and gazes solemnly out as you pass. You walk steadily upward, feeling their unflinching gaze follow you. Overhead, the wormhole hangs in the sky like an overripe fruit, bending the heavy branch of space and time towards you. It's so close, you feel as if you could touch it. You stretch your hand out, seeking. You wake up. What's this? Gain status insomnia. Mental skill increases reduced by 1 for 3 months. Lovely. Milky quiet sunlight pours through your window, flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. It's your birthday. You're 19 years old. Only 1 more year as a teenager. New perk. What do we get? Level 3 pets. Upgrade pet cards via relaxing in the park. Yeah? All right. How do we do that? Well, I was going to say after our next, we're going to do another couple of physical things. Let's try and get our toughness up. And yeah, then we're going to rest. Oh, we lose it. Why did we do that? Oh, because of that. That's annoying. In fact, that's not going to work at all, is it, with this, anyway? Alright, well, we could do... It's going to become a 7, I think, isn't it? It's not enough. We can add 1. Doesn't really matter if we turn it blue. Well, if we turn it blue, it'll gain 3, won't it? Maybe that's okay. How's toughness looking? What did we max out that we got the extra perk from? Was it animals? It looks like there's purple in there. I don't think we did max animals out. I could be wrong. Alright, it's late quiet. So we're going to do another physical thing as we're going to benefit from it. We don't need the biology now. I think I'll do the toughness again. You and Cal first have to shovel all the weird blue snow off the compost heap. Then shovel the compost heap. It's practically double the work. It's the worst. You have to tarp up the compost heap so the melting snow doesn't make the dirt too acidic. Okay, what can we do this time? I don't like this one because it kind of ruins straights. It only really works if you do something like that, but I'm not convinced about that. We're only 1 short. I hate to keep using these mushwood logs, but what have we got a lot of? These. I might as well just make that yellow. I want to see if I get a toughness. Oh no, we did max out animals. That's good. Alright, so I think we're going to relax in the park this time, and we're going to see... okay, we'll do a quick trip round and see if anyone wants to talk to us. Ooh, it was an egg. We'll give a gift to Dis. Because we're so late in the game, I'm kind of done with gifting everyone else now. Honestly, the consumables we kind of need for the harder card challenges, especially the mushwood logs. Obliteration, Dis muses, regarding you with a calm expression. Sounds scary, right? The idea of non-existence? He looks into the wilderness. I don't think so. If you're not afraid of death, total obliteration sounds wonderful. No more pain, no more drama, no more motions, just peace. Honestly, I can't wait. Well, what about a strange device? Okay, so it must be pretty... Well, I think we're on 98 now with him. So, another thing I don't know if this is the last year, or if we're going to have the year that we're 20, or whether it just ends when you hit 20. I don't know. Be fun to find out. You had plans to hang out with Cal today, but when you arrive at the Geoponics Dome, it's worryingly dark inside. You fumble around in the red emergency lighting until all the lights come back on with the heavy ka-chunk of a breaker being flipped. You blink into the sudden blinding light until the figures of Cal and Chief Engineer Instance resolve themselves in your vision. Absolutely no more of that, young man, Instance scolds Cal as he cradles his hoverboard in his arms. The power grid is not your plaything. I understand, Auntie, Cal says. I'm sorry. Instance mutters to herself as she passes you. Honestly, all of this over a toy. Hey, dude, Cal greets you. Sorry, I meant to greet you outside after work, but... He looks down at his hoverboard. My board wouldn't start, and I figured it was maybe out of juice. But when I plugged it in, it threw off all these sparks, and then the whole power grid shut down. Cal's shoulders slump. I was going to ask Dr. Instance to take a look at it, but she told me she doesn't have time to fix a dumb toy. I'll look at it. Well, okay, Cal says slowly, handing over the lifeless hoverboard. I guess you are pretty good at fixing things. You open up the hoverboard and poke around in its guts for a little while. Value as well. I don't really like that card. After about 20 minutes, you think you have figured it out. You rewire it so that power no longer flows through the burned out capacitor, sticking a little duct tape in there and close the casing. Cal takes the hoverboard and cautiously flips the switch. Et voila, it floats. It hovers even. Radical, Cal shouts, then covers his mouth with his hands. I mean, this is totally cool, Solana. Thank you so much. To celebrate, Cal lets you take the first spin on the board. Whoa, it bucks like a wild animal under your feet, and Cal catches you as you stumble off it. Careful, he laughs. That first step's a doozy. All right. So yeah, I think we're going to go and relax in the park and see if we can upgrade probably our Unisaur, as that is the animal we have equipped, so to speak. Your Unisaur is getting used to accepting you as, well, not its owner, really, but maybe as something like a small, fragile, slow friend. Meat is becoming a little more common in the colony than it used to be, thanks to the hunters from the heliosphere. They really like to eat meat. Luckily, that means it's easier to feed your Unisaur what she really likes. You play with Boringana for a few hours, letting her run around and stretch her legs. When she gets hungry, you throw chunks of meat and let her snap them out of the air. People have pushed back against the idea of wasting meat on feeding an animal, but you don't know what else you can do. If you don't feed her, she'll be a real menace. +1 bond. I wonder what that means. I guess I'll have a look. Kind of want to keep both those. Alright, so if we go into the gear tab. What was it before? Was it always... I reckon that probably is I reckon that has gone up by 1. I can't remember what it was before, but I'm guessing maybe it was +2 for rainbow flushes of 3 or something like that. Either way, that's good. We'll definitely, when we have to rest again, we'll definitely do it in there. I'd quite like to get toughness maxed. We're so close to doing it. In terms of advancing the story, I don't know what else to do. I mean, we could try going out to the swamps again, but I don't really want to kill stuff, so I'll just maybe restrict it to, like, story-centric yellow markers, or if there's like sort of a picture above the question mark. I don't want to kind of miss story beats because of not going to the expedition, so... An enemy is here to see off you and Vase. Well, she's mostly here for Vase.
Be careful, hero,
she says, kissing him enthusiastically. I guess they've made up. As she's in charge of her own defensive squad, she rarely sees field work.
I'll keep the colony safe while you're gone.
I'm counting on you, Vase replies and gives her butt a squeeze. She giggles. Keep the home fires burning. I'll be back before you know it. Hey, I'm going into danger too. Vase rolls his eyes. Oh, please, I could do this solo. He scoffs and holds an enemy. Isn't that right, Nemi?
Well,
an enemy says, running her finger over Vase's armour with a flirty smell.
Maybe I should come with you someday. To watch your back.
Vase's smug smile stiffens. You think I can't handle myself? He says quietly. An enemy's eyes go wide and she throws her arms around him.
No, babe,
she simpers.
I just want to be with you. That's it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Vase's hand tightens on her waist. That's more like it. What an asshole. He reminds me of the dentist at Little Shop of Horrors and his relationship with Audrey.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
I like Little Shop of Horrors.
Suddenly Seymour.
I don't think we're going to be an enemy Seymour, though. There's a bush bub. I don't really want to do the ones with the animals on, though, because it tends to end badly, doesn't it? Unless it looks like a critical one with the yellow marker. I don't want to harm them. There's another Unisaur there, but, like, will I be compelled to attack it? I might do the Thumper one, though. Wait, do you recognise this sound? It's a thumper like the one you found with this. Is it going to be all over again? Oh. Vase scowls and rubs his ear. Hey, that's that thumping again, he complains. Do you still have those explosives? You sure do. You've been lugging around enough explosives to level a stone building. It's been nerve-wracking, to say the least. Get back out there. You approach the throbbing pyramid, half submerged in the muck. You could destroy it as Rhett requested, or you could study it. You already know which one Vase would rather do. Okay, I think we fight them. +1 to red cards, +3 bonus to pairs. Okay. Fortunately, that's going to make that go to a 4, isn't it? Oh, actually, that works. I mean, sure, whatever. Hoping to draw better cards. Okay, +1 to red challenges, that works. +2 during challenges. Bump these down a little bit. Make that an 8, 6. Damn. Okay, we'll do that then. Okay. Okay, that was good. Most we could do. You and Vase managed to dispatch the creatures until only a few dazed hop-eyes are left. Blah, blah, blah. We've done this before. Redirect it. Maybe we'll blow it up this time. Blah, blah, blah. Friendship with Vase, who cares? You set the explosives you got from Rhett, a sort of crystal-infused jelly the Helios brought with them. You stand back and what seems like a safe distance, and the shockwave knocks you flat on your back, and your vision goes white and stinging loud as you crack your head against a rock. Oh, plus 30 stress. Now we're injured. Great. You return to reality what feels like only a few seconds later, though the suns are beginning to set and you're still lying on the ground. Utopia is crouched over you, taking vital signs, and you have the worst headache you've had in a while.
Hey, welcome back, Utopia says warmly. Just sit tight, okay? That knocked you out, but good.
You mumble something about the thumper, and Utopia lays her cool hand on your throbbing head.
You got it, sweets. It's gone.
Are we literally going... Well, that didn't go well, did it? Great. Thanks, Vase. Okay, well, that feels like probably a suitable time to stop. Actually, first, before we do that, we'll go rest and get rid of this injured status, and we'll do it in the park again and maybe level up our Unisaur. I don't think we can get to choose which pet it does, though. You and Cal go for a walk with your Hop-Eye, Optimus Prime. Cal loves the little creature, and they love him right back. They must instinctively know that Cal is a safe person. Cal scritches Optimus Prime's chin. You're so lucky to have a little friend. Yeah, I think it's probably worth just forgetting a 0 card. Okay, so let's have a little look at the gear tab. Gain 1 less stress, plus 1 bonus to pairs. Wait, it didn't level him up. Isn't that what it's supposed to do? Does it only work if they're equipped? No. That's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know quite what that achieved. Oh well, if anyone knows what that does, and I know a few of the people who watch my series have played the game themselves, let me know in the comments kind of what effect that has then when you are supposedly upgrading your pets, because I couldn't see a noticeable difference then in the card from the Hop-Eye. I think that the -1 stress sounds familiar, but it doesn't sound familiar. I mean, maybe that was it. I'm misremembering what it did. But I don't think so. I was expecting to see that become like a level 2 card. So let me know in the comments if you know, have a clear idea of what's supposed to happen there, or maybe I'm missing it. But otherwise, we'll leave it there. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of I Was a Teenage Colonist, Exocolonist, sorry. If you did enjoy it, then please do hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. That would be fantastic. And yeah, as I suppose, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this series. Always good to get feedback and know if people are enjoying it. If they're not enjoying it, always good to find out. So I'll leave it there and hope to see you next time for more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Bye for now.